We think we don't have Yetzaharas. And the bigger the Yetzahara we have, the bigger the fear we have, it's a that we're at the point where Godless comes out. Because that's the mix that the Rabbi Fischel does. He said somebody told his father that he heard the story Ish Mipi Ish. Somebody once came to the Vilna Gaon and said, the Vilna Gaon gave him mitzvah for something he did. He said, listen, I have my Yetzahara. He said to the Vilna Gaon, if I would have had your Yetzahara, it would be different. He says, the Vilna Gaon said, Zos nicht wissen davon, was der Yetzahara I had. He says, don't say you have my Yetzahara. You shouldn't even know if you had my Yetzahara. He says, there's a point in our life where we're frightened. And maybe frightened, and to the point where I never had such a fear before, is a siman that there's a certain shleimus we could be kinda now that we were never ever kinda before. So I'll conclude with this. There's a yid that told me that he was in a hospital with a child that's not well. And he was saying a few times, he said, it's Friday night, he's in the Bikkur Cholim. He's saying this mirrors. He says, it lacked him, it lacked in the Roy side. He says, what mirrors? Okay, it was good. He says, what tzati mitasi, sleeping on a recliner. Then he came to the words, Ibusi lebeischa, started to cry. He said, that I can't say. Not Ibusi lebeischa. His wife asked him, why are you crying? He says, I'm willing to say it lacked in the wrist. I'm willing to say it tzati mitasi. I'm willing to say it chlafti sumas. But Ibusi lebeischa here? On the 9th floor, I don't want to say where. So his wife said, but this is where the Rebbe wants us to be, so this is his bias. He said he closed his eyes, he said he mustered up the courage, he said she's right. This is where you want me to be now. This is where you want me to be. This is Ibasi Lebeischa. So this is where the Rebbe wants us now. This is where the Rebbe wants Klal Yisrael to be now. And then there's a Nakuda over here that if we hit it right, it's a chance of a lifetime. It's easier said than done. And clearly it's ma'achid Klal Yisrael. A person, very often the person has his own pachid. The guy was telling me today, you're scared? He says he's not scared. He says he's never going through a parasha, a health parasha. He says he's 10 times more pachid of that. But part of that pachid is because he's all alone. He says here the Moshe was being ma'achid us with this. So there's a certain koyach of tzibur, there's a certain shleimus that we could do now, which is a cheshbon, the Rebbeinu cheshbon and the Seder HaGeula, that'll never ever be. That it won't happen. I know I said that was the last story, but I would teach you to trust me. So I said one more Nikita. That remember last year I had to run. I had home to see it to run Svastveria. I have a taxi waiting. So I dive into the Sikh, and I'm not such a big Sikh person in Hartzvi on Ezra and Chemi residence. So there was a Yid, a Svardish Yid, who was saying Kaddish. So, and he was saying a long Kaddish, the Svardish Kaddish, and he was saying the whole Perkiovis, the whole Tillim, the whole Zayim, what they say, everything he said. And like that, they finished davening, he was saying again, Bristol was saying a Mishnah and a Kaddish and a Rice and a Kaddish. And I was like, and he calls me over afterwards, and I want to run out, he says, Junger Mann, gefällt euch nicht mein Kaddish. So I said, that's a gefällt Messiah. I said, oh, the members of Miss Life. He goes, du juckst dich? I said, yeah, setz dich weg. So he says, du weißt noch wer ich so Kaddish? No. So noch Shimon. I said, I'm going to hear Shimon. He says, Ben Yochid. And I embarrassed him. I said, here we go. He says, du weißt wer alt Shimon gewinnt? No. He says, 98 Jahre alt. Okay, So, 98 Jahre alt kommt nicht zu sterben, but it's not exactly. So he tells me, du weißt wer Shimon gewinnt? Yeah, Shimon is the reason I'm going to miss the taxi. Please let me go. He says to me, Junger Mann, du hast Boden Pays? Du hast got Boden Pays bei Stalin? No. Du hast Kosher? Try. Du hast gegessen Kosher bei Stalin? Shimon hat gegessen Kosher bei Stalin. Du eats Shabbos? This is good. Let's go to all Tariq mitzvahs that Shimon did by Stalin. I said, I'm going to come. So I started going, so setz dich weg. See, he told me a story that Shimon was teaching kids Aleph Beis in the Torah, and they were arrested. They were sent, Hochad Gadi was sent to Siberia, and it came Shalashida's time. He found a piece of bunker someplace there, and he was saying all his miras, and he had a piece of watch, and he wouldn't let them stop the miras until 72 minutes after Shkita. They were anxious to get back, but they were caught over there. We get sent from there, really is the point of no return. So he wouldn't it's still Shabbos. He's saying every Zviras. He says they came to Eretz Yisrael. He says, when Shimon was nifta on his birthday. He tells me, when on his birthday? At the end of the day, 72 minutes after Shkia. Exactly better than the time. So he goes, don't rush me when I come to say, okay, sorry. I said, listen, I realized this Yid probably also has some good stories. I said, was it ihr getan das down? So he looks at me and goes, der was geht so auf dem Kaddish noch mehr, sollst du fragen, he says. Then I see the Sikh, he walks out, and he's standing by there's like a little porch of it, and he screams, Good morning, alle Yidden. He says, Yidden, Yerushalayim, Vexagoy, good morning, what's in the day? Let's alem. I thought he was talking to the Siyam Hashas. I walk out a bunch of cats on the street, that's it, because nobody did. I said, in other words, he reached such a shleimus hanefesh, such a simchas achayim, because he was in the shel tachtis of ultimate pachad. There are opportunities in our life that come only at certain moments. And whatever that moment is, the Rebbeinu Shem is mixing the recipe. And that opportunity that we have at that moment to be mechazik others, to be who we are, that's the basi l'beischa. Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach is going to build the bias, the bias of Shlishi, b'meheirim Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach. B'yizgal tzedek b'meheirim.
Oh, nice. Yeah.